Jen, and I grew up in Newberry, Ohio, which is a very small town east of Cleveland, Geauga County. Really? Shocking. And I guess you could say my upbringing was that of a very typical, suburban, rural kid growing up in the 70s and 80s, except for one thing. My parents were serious hippies. Now, don't get me wrong, they weren't calling me moonbeam or anything like that, but they definitely had an open mind about the world, about life, about how to raise children, about love and sex. They were pretty open with us about everything. And never more so than when my mom was visibly pregnant with my younger sister, and I made the mistake of asking where babies come from. Now, this is a question that gives countless parents pause, right? It's the usual answer. If it's not something about a stork, it's usually about mommies and daddies loving each other and making a baby. But my mom, being a hippie and a feminist, was just more than happy to obligate, to really oblige her daughter's very curious mind when it came, lay it all out there. In fact, she felt obligated to be completely honest with me. So she pulled out diagrams and reproductive organs and procedures and the feminist Bible, Our Bodies, Ourselves. And she would say things to me like, this is a penis, and when it becomes aroused, it enters a woman's vagina. Now, you would think this conversation would happen like sort of a normal age for that, like around 10, right? 10 years old? Yeah. I was 4. So she continued the conversation, but kind of qualified it, It's like, well, when a man's penis becomes aroused, it doesn't always enter into a woman's vagina, but let's say that story, shall we? Filled with a new world of information, I turned to construction paper and markers to process. And I wanted to really bring about all these new ideas I had about this wonderful thing called sex. So the result was something that my family likes to call the Sex Papers. I'm going to share them with you tonight. This really gives you some insight to the mind of a small child obsessed with sex. As you can see here, this says stomach, which that's stomach for those of you who don't want to speak 4-year-old spelling. So this is really the only technical drawing, which is obviously inspired by all those damn diagrams, right? But soon, I really moved on to much more romantic scenes. Yes. Here are 2 naked people sitting across from each other smoking. Now, I feel like this must have been influenced by all of the soap operas that were on in the 70s because, people were smoking a lot after doing it in bed. And also, my parents were just smoking their faces off a lot, too. So. Here's a cheerleader cheering for sex. Yay, sex! What does the H stand for, though? Happy? Horny? Hand jobs, whatever it was, she was really excited. Give me an H. Go hand jobs! And look at this. It's quite a moo-moo on this comely lady with the very strange arms and fashion sense. I don't recall seeing a lot of dresses with boob cutouts, so. She's about to have sex with a man in a hat and polka dot pajamas. I think those are knee pads there, which shows maybe sort of a penchant for rough sex. I don't know. Maybe that's why sex is crossed out. Oh, the shower. This must have been an early nod to masturbation, I think, girls and their shower nozzles. This is how you make a baby, people. This is how it happens. This is how pink people make a baby. It's that easy. You raise that baby over your head like Simba. You've got Elton John in the background singing Circle of Life. It's just that easy. So, clearly I had this sort of weird introduction to sex when I was younger, right? And you'd think maybe I was sort of screwed up from it. But I really wasn't, because my mom was really teaching me about other things. She was teaching me about love, about family, about being a strong woman. I'm going to read this for you. You got to love yourself before you love your baby and your husband. And when you grow up, you get married to your boyfriend or a boy that you love, but the important thing to do is love the whole family. So, I eventually learned about sex on my own, and, did it when I was a teenager, and most of us, it just really wasn't at all what you thought it would be. For one thing, where were the smoking chairs? Where was my moo-moo with the boob puddles cut out? None of the crazy ideas about sex stayed with me, it's the bottom line, but all the important stuff stayed with me. And obviously the sex papers stayed with me too. Thank you.